Hello and welcome back to Gospel First. And today we're going to be focusing on Acts chapter 16, verses 6 to 7. It's where we talk about when God leads you. Have you ever felt like you were doing the right thing, but nothing was working out? Doors kept closing, plans kept failing, and you started wondering, God, are you even in this? What if those closed doors weren't rejection, but direction? Let's find out what we can expect when God leads you. So let's begin. In Acts chapter 16, verse 67, we see that Paul begins his second missionary journey with Barnabas. And right away, things don't go smoothly. In verses 6 and 7, it says, they were kept by the Holy Spirit from preaching the word in the province of Asia. The Spirit of Jesus would not allow them to. This is interesting because Paul and Barnabas actually separate after a disagreement. Not a small, but a sharp disagreement. And yet, here's something important. God still uses imperfect people. Paul moves forward with Silas. They travel, they preach, and then something unusual happens. The Holy Spirit stops them. Not once, but twice. Don't go there. Not that direction either. Now, can you imagine that? You're trying to serve God and he keeps saying no? This teaches a critical principle. God's guidance is not always clear direction forward. Sometimes it is closed doors. Sometimes it's course correction. And here's the key. God guides moving people, not stationary ones. Paul didn't sit down and quit. He kept moving. I remember a time when I had a plan that made perfect sense to me. Everything lined up. It looked perfect. It felt right. And then one door closed, then another. And I thought, why is this happening? Looking back now, I can see something clearly. What I felt like disappointment was actually protection. God wasn't stopping me. He was redirecting me. And what he led me to instead was far better than what I had planned. So next we see God redirecting Paul. Paul finally receives a vision, which is a turning point for him, and history changes. A man in Macedonia is saying, come over and help us. Now they know where to go. They crossed into Europe for the first time. And this is a major moment. But here's a surprise. Nothing happens right away. No crowds, no instant success, just waiting. So let me ask you, have you ever stepped out in faith and then nothing seemed to happen? This is that moment. Paul stays the course. Eventually, he meets Lydia, a woman whose heart is open to God, and she becomes the first convert in Europe. There's not a crowd, not a revival, just one person. But that's how God often works. So here's my invitation for today. Where is God guiding you right now? Through closed doors? Through delays? Through uncertainty? Then ask yourself this. Am I willing to trust God even when the path doesn't make sense? Because sometimes God's no is actually leading you to what's better. Well, that's it for today. Thank you again for staying faithful to the journey. May the Spirit continue to fill your heart and draw you closer to Jesus Christ. If your heart feels even a gentle nudge, I invite you to like, subscribe, and share so that we can spread the gospel of Jesus Christ together. And I'll see you next time as we continue our studies in the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 25 to 26. And it's about following Christ when it gets hard. Until then, God bless.